This is our final video on writing classes. So far, we have named the class and defined the instance and class level variables. We have created our constructors and written our accessors and mutators. Now, we will write the toString and equals method and write any additional or needed facilitator methods. We continue with writing a class to represent an instance of time. The attributes have been declared. Now, we want to write the toString and equals methods. We continue with subgoal 8 and write the toString method. It should be public. The return type is string. It takes no parameters. The logic is to convert the attributes to a string format so that the contents of the object can be printed. For the logic, we want to convert the instance attributes hour, minute, and second into a string format of hour, minute, second. We declare a local variable, holder, of data type string, and initialize it to be an empty string. When printing a time, if the hour, minute, or second is less than 10, we want to print a 0 before the single-digit value in the output string. We don't print times to look like 10:5:4. We print them 10:05:04. So, back to the logic. If hour is less than 10, then holder is assigned the string value 0, plus equal is shorthand for holder equals holder plus the contents after the compound operator. We are concatenating to the output string the contents of the instance attribute hour plus a colon. If minute is less than 10, we add a 0 to the output 0. In this case, the 0 is in single quotes, meaning it is a character. This is fine because you can concatenate a character to a string. So now we have concatenated on the value of the minute instance attribute plus a colon. Finally, we look at second. Again, if second is less than 10, we add a 0 to the output string. Then we add the value of the second instance attribute. Then we return the value of the local variable holder. Since the return type is string, we must have the return of a string variable in the method logic. For subgoal 9, we write the equals method. It needs to be public. It returns a Boolean value, true or false, and the method name is equals. The parameter is an instance of the time type class, which we are calling other, and the logic is to compare the attributes for equity. As the designer of the class, you get to define what it means for two instances of the class to be considered equal. It may be looking at all of the attributes or just some subset of the attributes. The logic is to compare the hour of this instance and compare it to the hour of the other instance. So we have hour equal other dot hour. We repeat for the minute and second. If they are all equivalent, then the logic will be true. In the expression and method will return a value of true. If any of them are different, the method will return false. An alternate implementation is to consider the toString values. The toString converted all three of the attributes into a string format. Therefore, if the two strings are equivalent, then the two instances must be equivalent. So you could call the toString method on this object. There will be some enhancement to the equals methods that we will get to, but not in this example. For subgoal 10, we write any other methods needed for this class. Let's say we want to increment the time. We are going to create a facilitator method called increment that returns nothing and takes no parameters. The idea is to add 1 second to the existing time. The first line increments the second instance attribute. Then, if second is greater than 59, we reset second to 0, and then we increment the minute instance attribute. If the minute is greater than 59, we again reset to 0 and then increment the hour instance attribute. If hour is now greater than 23, we reset to 0. These are sequential if statements, not else ifs, because we want all the statements checked every time we increment the value of second. Here is another facilitator method to determine if one time type is less than another time type. We have a public method that returns a Boolean true or false. The method name is less than, and we are comparing our instance to another time type instance that we will call other. We initialize a local variable called result that is a Boolean to be false. We are assuming that the two time types are not equal. First, we look to see if our hour instance attribute is less than the other hour instance attribute. If so, the current activating object is less than the parameter. So we set result to true. Else, if the hour is greater than the parameter's hour, we know that the result is false. If hour is not less than other hour and not greater than other hour, then the hours must be equal. So now we have to check the minutes. If minute is less than the other minute, the result is true. If the minute is greater than the other minute, the result is false. Otherwise, the minutes must be equal, so we check seconds. If second is less than the other second, the result is true. If the second is greater than the other second, the result is false. Otherwise, if the times are exactly equal, hour, minute, and second being exactly equal, it would return false. The last line is to then return the result. Now, we have the full UML diagram with all of the extra methods we added during this example. Now we can see what this looks like in a driver program. where we have declared one instance of time type, noon, with the values of hour 12, minute 0, second 0. We can print noon. Concatenating noon to a string will automatically call the toString method. This will cause the toString logic to be called, which will print to the monitor 12:00:00. We now declare another instance called DoTime to be 23 hours, 59 minutes, and 59 seconds. We can print this as well, and it would print 23:59:59. Now we are going to go through a loop 362 times. Each time we will increment the DoTime, calling the increment method. Remember, increment adds 1 second. Then we would print DoTime. Pause here and check your understanding. What do you think would be printed? Finally, there is a call to the less than method. We want to see if DoTime is less than noon. Again, what do you think will be printed?